Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good morning if you're that place in the world. That one specific place that is nighttime. You know the one. Hello to the VOD watchers. And hello to the clip viewers if something funny happens in the next minute and this moment becomes famous and immortalized. God, could you imagine that? Like, basically any moment that I'm existing in right now and streaming, it was just something random could happen and it would be insane. I don't even know if I'm communicating my thoughts correctly, but look at my cute glam that I threw together for Ferror. thanks to the 2 dye channels, I actually decided to finally use the casual attire. I thought the pastel green looks extremely good on this. And then I got some boots to go with it. And I like it for Picto. I think this is cool. I think this is cute. And yeah, but that's enough of that, because we're not doing this as a fucking, we're not doing it as a Pictomancer. We're doing this as a carbuncle, man. So let's continue our journey. We are in the land of living, and we are at level 97 MSQ. That was a bad mistake to make. I apologize. Go ahead and give it a second, just in case anyone clicked on the stream right now. That was not level 96 MSQ. We're at level 97. We have reached a important part. So that was your warning. I am now proceeding. It's fallen into total disrepair, almost as if it hasn't been used in decades. Dilapidated building. Building here is a rotting husk. It's clearly been many years since anyone lived here. Tracks are heavily rusted. It would seem they haven't been tended to for a long while. This is a water tower for trains, isn't it? I don't know. I didn't even know trains used water towers. I didn't know they got thirsty like that. You find a train turntable. The thick layers of rust suggest it hasn't been used in years. Alright, so theory. The town of Yasulani has been transported into another reflection. I guess further theory being that right now we're in another reflection based on the earlier conversation and what Y'shtola mentioned, which would lead me to further assume that similar to the similar to the reflection, the first reflection of Shadowbringers of Norvrent, the time has completely, the time doesn't match up. The time, you know, like in the reflection, time kind of has a weird relation with the other reflections, as they kind of delved into like Thancred. What did he spend, like a decade? I think Thancred was in the first for a decade or something. It was something crazy like that. Well, for us, it was not a decade, obviously. So my assumption is that something similar is happening here, and I can't even put it into words. Amidst enormous alien structures, we have more familiar sights like this station. Okay. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone then. I want you all to take a look at this. It's one of the mechanical soldiers, long since broken apparently. But I'd say its presence confirms this is indeed Zeralja's domain we're in. Sorry. It has eyes, that's how you know it's going to be friendly. What about the rest of you? Did you learn anything? So all evidence suggests this is Yasolani Station. I have no doubt we're in Yasolani, but I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. They were completed barely a year ago. For new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash, if I didn't know better, I'd say time flows differently here. Is such a thing even possible? We've encountered this phenomenon before, as it so happens. Though it may be difficult to believe, our world is but one of several. In some respects they are similar to one another, but in others wholly different. We call them reflections. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. But if this is Yasolani, then we should still be in the source. The flow of time should be synchronized. I'm not sure I follow all this talk of reflections and dimensions, but if Erenville says this is Yasolani, then it must be. Your village is a little further along, right? Erenville. Oh, yes, it's a short distance to the northwest. Let's head there next then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. So, that's what I said. May I be of assistance? It's still functioning? It doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions. Can you tell us where we are? Unable to confirm credentials. Please present citizen identification. Unable to confirm credentials. Confirm. Confirm. Seems it's broken after all. Too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. Are those lightning rods? Would you accompany me for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. listen. It could be. No, it can't be. That doesn't make sense. Never mind. It can't be. It can't be. I was wrong. Look there. The lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over there. The design suggests there's some manner of lightning rod. Let's go and take a closer look. This material appears to be the same that is used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings, rather reminiscent of arcane runes. These, I suspect, they're not merely decorative. I would posit it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology. I'll share this observation with Y'shtola. For a blessing, the dome doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Thanks for accompanying me. Let's head to the village and find the others. Oops. No sign of anyone. In the world? Oh fuck, no wonder everything looks so weird. I turned up my character lighting just because I wasn't paying attention when I was G-posing earlier. And now everyone looks really off. Everyone's super bright.
My home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Excuse me, are you looking for someone?
Hello? Ooh, that's so pretty.
I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows. Sorolcha has told me a great deal about you.
Sorolcha?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria. I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Zorulja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Then you're both behind the attack on Tulihiola.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight. Zorulja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Zorolja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria. Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power. So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people...
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yasulani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know.
It's writing on her back.
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that one day, people from Yor Tuliolol suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliolol. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barrier surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the first. Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience. Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts. A number of the Shatona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking
She's
into a
been
trap.
standing with her weapon at the ready this whole time.
But if we're to defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
You're right.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tulihyolol?
Noble Wooklamart, shall we dispense with the formalities? I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zeralja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolol.
So he alone is to blame.
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through. So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
Wonderful! If you would follow me.
Isn't it a little bit odd for the queen to be walking around on her lonesome?
Is that concern or suspicion?
Yes.
If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid?
Huh?
I jest, of course. But you do strike me as the most capable here.
I don't even know where to find this setting. I did it in GPOS, so I'll just fix it there. It's not even on. Oh, is that how everyone just actually looks? Was I just shit-talking the game for looking totally normal? Okay. I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to trust her just like that, right? Any way you look at it, a mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere proclaiming herself a queen is suspicious. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information, so let's head to this place, the outskirts, and see what we can learn, perhaps about Sphene as well. It was pronounced Sphene, right? Pronounced Sphene. I'm pretty sure it was Sphene. I trust you have similar farming facilities in Tyrol? They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all those machines do. We settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Turali have their own methods of farming, which they wanted to continue employing, but the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electropy has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. Electro what? Electropy? Electro? It's a material we use for myriad devices and applications. A topic for another time, perhaps. If you would follow me, we're nearly to the outskirts. Talk with this Fanny. My name is Fanny. Huh. There wasn't even a path that led up here, you stupid game. Fuck you.
Here we are. Though you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria
Her voice
strange,
sounds so familiar
the
to me.
traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
Queen Sphene? What business brings her here, I wonder?
The queen has come!
You look well, Paquine. And Catonia, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Namachi.
It's 4th of July, by the way.
Me?
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people. And I should like to know them as best I can, even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put.
And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolo's vow of resolve Wuk-Lamat and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
The rumors of a link to the outside are true, then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Where are my manners? I am Popone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Papone? That is a Tonawautan ring to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa.
Cuba?
Kafkiwa. I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Oh. Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yasolani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Pepone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
30 years.
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago. Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
Now that makes sense.
30 years. Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence.
In English, goddammit.
Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome.
Meaning this is a piece of another reflection? Question mark?
I cannot say for certain, but I strongly suspect that to be the case. And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the Source's temporal flow.
Yeah, I'm following.
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information. Sveen, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
And its people. I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yasolani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zoralja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living. Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, the use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I
would join you as well.
Ma'am, please, you needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all, and I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine, and that's enough for me.
I agree. I love you. Kiss me. Electropia has done much to improve the efficiency of their farming, but it hasn't replaced everything. The people want to preserve their old way of life, and we did not want to force ours upon them. We went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, for the Terali tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent. Those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding, and patience, we Alexandrians and Terali have learned a great deal from one another. I'm sure there was much you wish to learn as well, so please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. Rather than bore you with lengthy explanations, let us head back to the farm we passed earlier. The Upier's Halo, it's called. Upier's Halo. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. Guess we're off to Upier's Halo. Okay. Didn't really get a chance to mention it earlier, but there's fireworks going off. It's probably gonna fuck with some of the stream audio just because they're a lot closer than they were the last few years, I feel like. People are just lighting off insanely loud fireworks close to my house. I fucking hate it. It's so annoying. And the dogs get really scared, of course. So I'm gonna have to be keeping the dogs inside of my room tonight. So that's what is gonna be happening. Allow me to introduce you to one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in myriad farming techniques. Indeed, the wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what allowed this place to flourish. Queen's Fene, to what do I owe this sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I am come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more of Alexandria, and so I visited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's alright. I adore everything. So the rumors of visitors from outside were true. What manner of host would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty also intended to check on things here? You know me too well, Mahusa. You know me too well, Mahusa. How did Aaronville pronounce that one word? It wouldn't be Mafusa, right? I thought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare, and perhaps pepper them with a few questions, though I do so enjoying observing and taking part in the work too. It would appear we have her permission, so please walk the grounds to your heart's content. You go on ahead, I'll keep Svenne company. Don't misunderstand, I'm not the suspicious type, but given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. Jesus Christ, man. I shall remain under Wook Lamotte's watchful eye. Pray come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. He's already whining. I'm gonna let him in my room. Sorry. How keep halfway? If Aaronville is pronouncing the H's as F, that changes everything. They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That true? So it is, which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at UPA's Hay, though, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. Just realized this is probably an electric fence to keep the livestock in. Thank God I didn't touch it when I jumped over. I could have died. I could have been a fried lizard. Nick? Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site, then? Yep. Well, this here's the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious, and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even gotten a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and electricity complicate our lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the tower for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. Work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source... Huh? You wish to know about my job? I tend the fields mostly, watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I finally understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the field. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work, but honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you've had your fill of speaking with the farmers? Then let us return to Mahusa. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? I was amazed that everyone loves their work. A curious observation. Do you not love your own work? Oh, but I jest. It's true that the people of the outskirts seem the most fulfilled. Always they take to their duties with good cheer. And what do you think of our little tour, Lamati? What did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard the others call you that name and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. That machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable. Indeed, many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put it simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged up with the energy, and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if the creatures were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. Let's go kill some motherfuckers. We can take care of it if you like. That is most gracious of you to offer, but it is much too dangerous. Oh, it's no trouble for the vow of resolve of Tulialal. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Ferrar is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Then very well. I gratefully accept. But please take all care. I gracefully accept. Yes! This ought to go even faster if you and I search for lightning-charged fiends on our own. Good hunting. So, what am I working with in here? We're good. I'm just trying to figure out my space boy. I didn't even know you could do that, and that's pretty horrifying. Oh, hello. If ever there was a place to ride a mountain zoo, I think this is it. Because it too is charged with electricity. I think. Make ready to quench your thirst for adventure. This music is too intense for so chill a place. You're both alright, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course I was worried. You're my dear guests, but thank you. We truly appreciate this. Indeed. With this, we won't have to ask Jiralja's machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. That's enough, Mafusa. If you have grievances, I will hear them later. To speak of the king now. No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thank you for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you'll never fail to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. You seem in good sorts, Fene, that I'll admit. You'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks for dealing with the fiends. Come and visit us anytime. Do you hear that? No.
What's happening over there?
It's nearly time.
I'm glad you could make it.
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you. We're here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right.
Fuck.
What's the matter, dear?
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me! Wuklamat!
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. Your memory will live on, in us.
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of,
Interesting.
perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a void gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken. If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement. By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's noxious influence. I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
In other words, Sphene's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder. Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs. Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zoraljar resides.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zoraljar do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father, and to do so, I intend to take Zoraljar's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I'm afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud. Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
Memoria. What's going on? How could Pepone suddenly forget about Namika? It's as if he never knew her. Could the same thing have happened to others as well, I wonder? There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Aetherate. Powerful mark. Did we look at all these? Vacation, wait, yeah, okay. I did. old woman named Namika? I'm afraid I don't know that person. I'm sorry I couldn't be of help. I love the brilliant red. Love the bright colors of their hair. What's that? Do I know a Namika? I've never met anyone by that name, and I've worked at the outskirts for a good while now. If she'd spent time here, I would remember. Do they make people happy here by removing their bad memories and sending them up to the cloud? Do I recall caring for someone until... I do recall caring for someone recently, and you say that it was a woman named Namika? Well, I can't say for certain if it was her. I wouldn't worry. I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. The reflection of the light on the ground looks so good. I want to see what it looks like in, if it looks any different in maximum. Ground definitely looks better, I think. Maybe I'm crazy. I can't tell. So it was the same for everyone. But a single person remembers Namika. It's as if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. While such a thing might be done with magic, to alter the memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of ether corresponding to the act too. I sensed none in that moment. Neither did I, but I did notice something else. Right before Pepoane seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. Who might we ask about this? If we continued making such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed, if we can't readily solve the mystery about Namika, perhaps we could search for Kafkiwa instead. Sine said to try the Thunder Yards. It should be in this direction. Impossible. Another kind of mechanical soldier? It looks dangerous. We'd better destroy it. Oh, we got a goofy fella. Goofy fella alert. Should we give chase? I think it understood our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Ernville, are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing. I'm fine. Well, it went off in the direction we're headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. Faster than it looks. Do not see it. No sign of it over here. Voice, could it be? Is Kafkiwa a robot? Have they all been turned into robots? I gotta get out of here. I have to go to my cave. You found it? Something like that. Over yonder cave to the northeast, then it must be bound for the mines. Come on then. It could well be a trap, so let's not rush in too quickly. Yeah, I have to wonder at what point is it intentional, and if they're trying to misdirect me. Because with the amount of times that they've been cautious about there being a trap, they've communicated how not trusting they are in this situation, and the fact that they've mentioned a trap so many times at this point is kind of disarming me and making me think, okay, maybe there is no trap after all, but they're really hammering that in, I feel like. I don't know. Heard faint voices coming from inside. So it's not alone, but we're still going in, of course. This may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. There they go again. And now we're gonna meet a small city of wonderfully adorable robots. It would appear no one has worked these tunnels in quite some time. It would be funny if it ended up being a problem, though. That I would eat my words. I literally, I forgot that the chat box that I created for my streaming takes away shout chat. I was trying to watch shout chat to see if anyone was going after the hunt, but I forgot that I didn't have shout chat viewable on this tab. So people did actually get the hunt. Dude, and it was right there. I could have gone for it. I can hear them. Several people up ahead. Can't make out their conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going. Stay on your guard.
What is this? Aaronville!
A trap?
It really is you!
Huh?
Who?
I just have to get a look at you in the light. And I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Elizabeth! My darling what now? Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
Are you alright?
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I'd know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Galoo Jaja's kitten? I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Ellen Espierre was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope.
I can't say that I do, but you know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, but this won't do. Come in! Friends of my Ellen Espierre are always welcome.
ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place, how are things still getting stranger?
So let me get this straight. Your mom is a floating robot, and we're in another reflection right now. Yeah, okay. Oh. Holy shit, dude. As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what happened, we'll need to ask her. Let's hear what she has to say. It's so wonderful to meet you all. And the students at Baldeskian. It's been a while since I've heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Oh, this? It's just a body that I control remotely. I use this for our operations. We're gonna January 6th Zeralja! We're members of a resistance organization, Oblivion we call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Zeralja's ambitions for conquest. As the leader, it's prudent that I remain where I can't be easily found. I see. Whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious cause. Right you are. Truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. And that is? As I expect you've already noticed, everything you see within this dome, the buildings, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Then does that mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago, and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. By the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zeralja. Oh, but we failed to do that, and now he's taken his army outside the dome. None of you wear those strange devices on your head. Does that have something to do with your work? this? It's a regulator, the pinnacle of electropy technology, and that we don't wear it is indeed related to our operations. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packaged in cells. They can be used to replenish the life force that is lost due to sudden death, such as in accidents. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. I see. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation, to encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties. Huh. Souls is a common resource, and payment for service is rendered. Not ideal. The void-sent practice of consuming others for their ether comes to mind, and similarly I expect that the act comes with risk, with some risk. God, she looks so fucking pale in that shot. Not even pale, just desaturated compared to the rest of it. Wouldn't the consciousness of others corrupt something? That is prevented through memory management, I see. A process in which regulators also play a role. Memory management, and the reason everyone has forgotten Namika's existence. The regulators are constantly recording the memories of their wearer, so if they should suddenly die, their memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one. Why would they do such a thing? It's a kindness bestowed upon by the people of Everkeep's core system so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. Yeah. I was kind of right about that part, I guess. So this is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. It's a frightening function of the regulators and an integral step in soul cell production. Integral? What did they say? Ah, I'm dead. Oh, fuck. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, their soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. The result is a fresh soul cell, free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. Oh, look what I just found. Oh, lucky me. Yeah! Whoa! Yes! Hmm. Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system, to be remembered forever. And this is why people are happy here? On its surface, it's similar to the Yakoi philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it. Well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, the system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mounting death toll, scientists used Electropy to devise a means to save what lives they could so that the nation could endure. I understand the people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe that Turali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many people were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. Fenny didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've already met. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants us to help stop Zeralja. Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, and to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motives, she has given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death, or the security of the regulators. Everything that lives must someday die. That is the natural order of things. Quite right, but however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. I know just the person to show you. As luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. Who are we going to see exactly? Come with me and you'll find out. I find it improbable that Kafkiwa has been alive this whole time naturally. So I feel like it's possible. I don't know. It's possible that she is using them. I have an alarm going off. What was it for? I really should have written down what it was for. I know what it's for. I need to turn off the air conditioning. Okay. We're gonna chill here for a second. And we'll return shortly. Whoops. Having a bit of a space problem right now. This poor little puppy here is scared of the fireworks, and apparently the only place he feels comfortable is right under my desk, right where my feet go. And I don't know, it's making me kind of uncomfortable that I just can't put my feet where I want to, and I'm getting, I don't know, I'm not like upset with him, but I feel a loss of autonomy at the moment. I'm trying to figure out a way to alleviate this. But I am quite uncomfortable in the way that I have to sit right now. So let's try this. This might fuck with all of my audio. Let's see what happens. Never mind, give me a sec. The dog has now moved to an even more inconvenient spot than before. Mommy, I need you to move a little bit. I can't rest. I can't even reach my computer with how far you're forcing me to sit out. Okay, they're trying to invite me to 4th of July plans for the night. I don't really know if I want to. Your name is Nostalgia? Firearms make the most sense for people who don't have combat training like us. That's why we salvage as many as we can from the mechanical soldiers and convert them for our use. That's a mechanical soldier's firearm? Wayakwe. Nostalgia is my twin sister. Like most people, we both used to wear regulators, but well, let's just say a lot happened. Geode. Take care not to get struck by lightning out there. One fellow reckoned you could dodge them by junking that the instant there's a flash, but that's crazy if you ask me. Everyone here? Good. It is the responsibility of the Thunderyard's hunters to fell any fiends wandering around the area. Any fiends found wandering the area. We're to meet an acquaintance of mine, Strika, one of these hunters. I'm good at reading. Well, these aren't friendly NPCs, these are sentries. Show me those pearly whites, Strika. Kafkiwa? What are you doing here, and with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on, I assumed they were wearing special regulators like Queen Svenne's crown. They aren't wearing anything at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts? I can assure you they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Danger aside, there isn't really much to see. Kafkiwa said you're a hunter, but wouldn't it be easier for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? I would, if not for the fact they're weak to lightning. With Thunder Yard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, eh? These facilities are vital to the upkeeping of Alexandria's infrastructure, so it falls to hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, we're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. A special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. I brought this lot here to see this danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask. Ah, of course, in which case it'd be a shame to waste my efforts on just any old beast. You can all handle yourselves in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus slaying what critters you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should each slay what we can. This one will do nicely. We'll help you. It's fine, really. I've faced worse. Just watch. I don't like the looks of this. Let us help. Oh no. Preserve. She needs healing. Now she is going to enter the trance-like state. That was embarrassing. The bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help. I told you not to worry. This will only take a moment. Man, I gotta make a new Elizon. God damn! Let's go! Just like Zeralja. Come on, let's get out of here. That's also a function of the regulator? I think I understand now how Zeralja was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa, but I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Don't tell me you empowered yourself with the soul of a beast. I'm reminded of the Serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard who did the same. So you've crossed paths with one of the King's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourself on souls. We could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allowed hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. And there you have it. Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls, those of people and those of beasts. The souls of people can be used to grant the user preternatural strength. I don't know how to say that word. Naturally, they can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work in much the same fashion, imbuing you the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you use the soul of a wolf, you would grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Strika. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in physical changes. Your teeth might become fangs, your nails, claws. Too many and you'll become more beast than a man. How could you say that while looking at the man with fangs and claws? Changing one's form through the souls of other beings, it becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Scent. Yet unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken, souls here are forcibly taken before they might reach the ethereal seat, different means to achieve similar ends. A cycle to which all within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept, being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. The civilizations in the reflections are surprising indeed. Well, we all have our thoughts on souls. For now, the important thing is we know what powers Aralja has at his disposal. It is one thing to separate corporeal ether from incorporeal ether, but to strip memories from the soul entirely is unprecedented technology. This is no longer only Tulialal's concern. With his newfound power, Zaralja has become a real threat to the entire world. Indeed, he has to be stopped no matter the costs. I'm sorry, I need to, I'm just gonna end this stream for now. I will do another stream later today when things calm down, but I'm getting a lot of distractions right now. I apologize. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out. I will be back in a few hours. Not in a few hours, probably in less than an hour. But there's too many things asking for my attention right now that I gotta make sure that I take care of them. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting this. It's me streaming. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be on in a bit later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, 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 bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, 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 bye-bye. Bye 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 I forgot to record that one.